And we are recording. Well, thank you everyone for joining in today, whether you're listening on Facebook, LinkedIn, or on the website. My name is Bede, I'm from MasterMe. Thank you very much for joining our client review. Today we have the one and only Darcy Kent joining us, who completed the program. We started the program 8 weeks ago, and he's recently completed the program. So I've just asked Darcy to come on and share his experiences, and we'll just jump straight into it. So Darcy, maybe do you want to tell us a little bit about where you were at, what sort of things were like? Acting was big, it is massive for you, and there's also sort of other questions around what else you might be doing with your life. Tell us a little bit about what was going on for you before we had our first phone call.
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of had 2 years of doing quite a bit of work, and had found myself in a space due to 2020 happening like it has, not really knowing what direction to go next, and feeling like not exactly, I'd loved acting for a really long time, but it didn't give me a certain stability. And it's not something that I ever really questioned as a career choice. It's one of those things where decided when I was 18, went with it, really enjoyed it, but then went, God, wait, what if there was something else that I'm good at? Or what if there's another avenue in which I can be of service, or a career that gives me more stability, or, you know, and I didn't, there was something kind of niggling me about needing to explore that. And I felt a bit lost. So yeah, I reached out to you because I'd heard from a few other people that, you know, you'd help them in that way. And I just wanted to get real clarity about what I was good at, what my options were, you know, where I wanted to go moving forward. There was a lot of haziness in my future, and I really wanted to like clarify like what I actually really wanted in my life, and what my skills were and what I had to offer, you know, in whatever kind of career that might be.
Yeah, and talked about
it was about exploring, deep diving into my skills and what I'm good at, and how that might be applied in the world, you know?
Yes, exactly. Yep. That's amazing. That's exactly how my interpretation of it as well was that, yeah, there was that sense that you had many possibilities in front of you, many skill sets, maybe sort of raw talent and raw opportunities, but weren't quite sure how that would actually play out in the real world, and whether they would either confirm that you are on the right course, or whether you would actually discover in the process that there's maybe something better suited to offer either stability or a complementary sort of nature to things.
And a matching, I guess, of you know, going, what are my ideals and values, you know, and how are they aligned with my career? How can I align them with my career? What would they look like, you know? Yeah, really, diving deep and uncovering that and getting more, you know, I wanted someone to help me unpick all that and sift through my experiences and my skills and help me, find clarity. So. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. And then when we started the program, how did that feel as you started moving into that space? We had 4 2-hour sessions that we did, and
well, it was at the beginning, it was fairly it was confronting because you know, I really had to kind of explore, you know, you encouraged me to explore my strengths and my weaknesses, and work out, like really concretely work out who I am as a person and what I believe in, which, you know, it's something that, you know, I've maybe thought about before in a kind of daydreamy way, but, you know, never really like, you know, written things down on paper and been kind of regimented and going, what, you know, what do I value? What do I want? And that was scary to do, because it's like, you know, you're really taking responsibility for your own future, and like, but yeah, it was confronting, but what I really enjoyed was the energy that you came with in the beginning was, you know, this is a process and we're exploring something together. And the exercises and the things that you got me to explore over each week, it meant that we started small, and then kind of the boulder kind of slowly gained speed over the course of those 4 weeks. And by the end, I was kind of exploring things that at the beginning I would have been like, whoa, like I'm not ready for this. So I felt in that stepping stone kind of way, yeah, there was a real like acceleration and build of momentum in the work that we were doing, and yeah, it built a lot of confidence for me actually.
Oh, wow. In what way?
Well, I mean, I think that writing all this stuff down, getting really clear about who you are and what you want, where you've come from, where you want to go. I wasn't so kind of, I felt like less of like an amorphous blob of a person and more like clear and direct and going like, I know who I am and I know what I want and I know how to go out there and get it. And having that clarity, I can't tell you, it feels so different. I feel so different now than I did 2 months ago.
Wow.
And you know, and it also feels good because, you know, you facilitate that, you help that along, but it's generated from within. Like it's
Absolutely.
my, you know, so I think that's a really important aspect of it, is that you're really just, you're guiding, you're a guide into things that we might already know about ourselves that we haven't like really allowed ourselves to explore.
Yep.
So yeah.
Amazing. And was there one particular exercise or chapter of the course that you remember as being particularly useful to you? I think it stands out for each person, different pieces, you know.
So many, but like one that's really stood out and it's kind of continued to be really rewarding is the tribe wisdom exercise that we got.
Oh yeah.
Because asking people that I'm close to in my life what they think my strengths and weaknesses are, my unique talents are, really revealing, and so rewarding, because you really get a sense of how people perceive you, and people that care for you,
that really know you,
that really know you. And like, you know, I'm like, you know, I've been doing acting for so long and it has defined me for so long. It's been, you know, it's like, okay, who are you? I'm an actor. Like it's just almost automatic. And it's interesting, you know, people going through and saying what my strengths are. I think one person mentioned acting, but it was more about interpersonal skills and how I am in the communities that I'm a part of. And that was really powerful for me, going like, wow, I'm more than just my job.
Which is so important, because, you know, often our CVs start to define us. And that's really what I try and help people do, is to step back from their CV and look at themselves through their strengths, skills, and natural abilities and passions. And then from that, we kind of hopefully have enough of those things in the air, we can start to land and narrow in on actually what is the best option, rather than going, well, I've always been an accountant, maybe I should always be an accountant. That's what I studied, that's what I know. And there's that, when you break it down into sort of just raw elements, you can actually move across. And I know we also did a bit of work on, I know we did a little bit of work on fears and stuff as well. Was that useful as well?
Yeah, hugely. Like there's that whole thing of like, and you know, you can handle anything once you've written it down. Well, I think you're back. Yeah, you being able to handle anything once I've written it down. I think a lot of trepidation that I had and nervousness about like stepping into a new phase of my life. You know, I'm approaching 30 now, and that felt like a big thing. Really noting down fears, and then going, okay, what's the worst that could happen if those fears come to light, and what can you do if they do come true, and what can be done to avoid them? And it just becomes more manageable. I mean, I think that's one of the big things, was approaching this, you know, these life goal things can seem so monumental, like, and terrifying, like this big mountain that you have to climb. But really, I mean, we spent we did 4 2-hour sessions, and after that, I had so much more clarity. Like it's kind of baffling how simple it was, really, and how terrified I was and how complicated I thought it would be before we started the process. But, you know, it's so much. I think it is really a lot easier than people think, and it's obviously a process. Like, you know, I'm not just immediately like, "Ah, I know exactly where I want to go and exactly who I want to be, and I know exactly the kind of role I want to do."
Yeah.
But I have so much more clarity now,
Yeah.
and so yeah, the fear's kind of gone in that sense. Um,
Yeah, to
I
know
mean,
that
and
you don't have to know everything in this exact moment, but you can commit to finding out the answers. As long as you know kind of where you want to end up, you can actually
that's right.
move towards that. And
And like harnessing your own narrative and going, you know, I've done all this before. I've come from here. I've got this, you know, knowing what you have to offer the world, um, being really clear about what you have to offer to the world and why you want to offer it to the means that, yeah, like there's a bunch of different careers that I'm interested in exploring now, but I know exactly why I want to do that. And I know exactly what skills I have to bring to those careers. So there's, you know, I'm looking at jobs now and instead of going, oh, I guess like maybe I'd be good at that, you know, like maybe that would be good. I can literally look at like a job breakdown and go, yeah, no, that wouldn't be good for me. Or, oh yeah, no, that is the kind of thing that I'm interested in. Streamlining that whole process and having less questions about it, you know,
yep.
going like, oh, you know, it involves me sitting at a desk, you know, working with numbers a lot. I know for a fact that that's not something that I would enjoy.
Yep. It's
You know,
not to say that you couldn't build those skills, but we're really trying to focus on building on the strengths. And,
yeah,
and that's where the joy comes from anyway.
Yeah,
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 that's so
joy.
good. And okay, so I spoke to you last week since completing the course, and you've done that sort of 30-day challenge afterwards to try and get the mindset locked in and actually start achieving some of the things. And it's been a really amazing process because you've had some really good success with some good news from the acting that's come in this time. Actually, an incredible manifestation, really, of exactly what you wanted.
Yeah.
But the course appears to have helped you actually achieve one of two of the outcomes you're hoping for. One is to solidify your confidence in your current direction or find an alternative. And it seems to have helped clarify that you're actually in the right space. Would you like to expand on that?
Yeah. I have, yeah, being able to put the feelers out and look at exactly, yeah, like, you know, I think I needed to work out essentially this, that there was a reason that I went into acting. I had an instinct about it, but I'd never really defined it. And this really helped me define why I enjoyed it so much. It was kind of like I was like, oh yeah, it's just always been fun. But going, okay, where does the fun come from? What is that? Unpacking that and then realizing, okay, great. So it's the storytelling aspect. It's bringing community together. You know, it's these aspects of acting that I adore. And understanding, you know, understanding now that even if acting down the track I don't want to do or I need to change it, that there is aspects of those of what I love in acting that I can transfer to so many other vocations and so many other jobs. And you know, I think that is so empowering to know that you know I'm not just stuck to one thing, that I'm not just potentially only good at one thing. Like I think I know a lot of people that stay in the job that they're in because they go, I don't think I'd be good anywhere else. You know, like I don't think I have, if I switched now, I'd be floundering and I wouldn't have anything to offer. And it's like, no, you do. There's so many options. And I think the other thing is that like I really wanted to, you know, commit to myself and say, I'm going to do, you know, 30 days of consistent practice and really focus on goal setting. And that's been really, really, really powerful because it's I've been baffled at how much I can actually achieve in a short amount of time when I really set my mind to it. And, you know, you've really helped me form better habitual patterns, both in my thoughts, but also in my day-to-day life. And I think breaking that down has been really important too. Like going like, you know, have a daily practice, get up in the morning, what do you think about when you begin your day?
Mm.
And going day by day as well, you know, going like, okay, we have these goals that are 10 years in the future, but what are we doing daily in a small way to help contribute to that?
Yeah,
That's
beautiful.
been massive. And you've really helped me structure that in a way that, yeah, is, it's flexible, and it's dynamic and it's interesting, and it can adapt to whatever, you know, however busy I am, or,
Yep.
you know, it's going to be something that I'm just going to continue to use no matter what kind of work I'm doing day to day. I'll have things that I do every day that help me focus on, you know, who I am and where I'm headed.
Beautiful, man. That's so good.
You know?
Yeah, and you mentioned in that we talked about it last week about the mindset stuff, and how that helped potentially the comparison to others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that was one of the sort of elements I think you talked about early on in the sessions, was that sense of you're aware that you're losing a sense of joy by comparing yourself to others, but it was kind of like a mindset thing that needed to shift, and the mindset work seems to have supported that shift, at least.
Yeah, changing. You've helped me realize that changing habitual thought pattern is actually easier than I thought. Comparison, yeah, it's always been a big thing for me, especially when I'm questioning things about my own life. I always look out to other people and go, well, what are they doing? Like, what am I doing that's wrong that they're doing better? And yeah, I've definitely noticed, yeah, especially over the last month, just a sense of contentment with where I'm at, in that not needing to look to others to see how I need to live my life, you know, because I'm so buoyed up by the, you know, the story that I've told for myself about myself, and you know, I'm proud of the person that I am, and so I feel less of a need to go out to get satisfaction or you know, compliments, or, you know, it's much more of this internal wellspring of, you know, good vibes and positive energy.
Yeah.
That you're fostering, like that you helped foster. Yeah, that's meant that, yeah, I'm not so focused on what's going on out there and what other people are doing. You know, I'm happy with where I'm at. So yeah, it was pretty profound, actually.
Amazing.
I realized. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important to take the power back into ourselves and start building from ourselves. Like when you're constantly looking out, it's basically dissipating your energy. And yeah, it was amazing work you did on that. So congrats, bro. Last few questions. How would you describe this course to someone who was listening for the first time about MasterMe Program?
Well, I think I would describe it as potentially actually really adaptable to any kind of person that kind of comes in to do it. Like, I'm someone that came in going, I don't exactly know. I've been doing this. Like, I've got a lot of questions, and I really don't know where I'm heading in a lot of areas. And I think what I would say is that, yeah, I think the process is adaptable to kind of wherever you're at in your career, wherever you're at in your development. And what it was for me, and what it will continue to be, is that you've really just given me a set of tools that really help me clearly lay out, yeah, who I am, what I want, where I want to go. And after those 4 weeks, I felt like, yeah, I just had a kind of encyclopedic knowledge of, yeah, of all of that stuff, that I was kind of able to kind of carry under my arm and go, you know, reference if I need to, pull out and go, okay, I'm in this situation now, and going back to these things that I've really thought about: values, ideals, goals, strengths, weaknesses, having this encyclopedic knowledge of how you work, and yeah, it's just immensely helpful, because you can't really put a price on it, really. I think, like, it's really I would encourage anyone to do it that's having any kind of that has a lot of question marks above certain areas of their life, because you'll find more answers than you think, really. yeah, and I think you've got so much to offer people from all sorts of disciplines, all sorts of vocations, all areas of life.
Awesome. I was going to ask who is this best for, but you've kind of answered that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't think of anyone that it would not work for, really. You know, unless you're some kind of guru that's like, I understand myself completely. I have no questions. Like, you know, like I feel like anything out of it. Also because like you get out what you put into it as well. You know, like what you're doing is offering a structure and just encouraging people to, you know, going, what if you went really hard with this? Like, what if you dug really, really deep? And you provided a really safe space and a great energy in order for me to do that. And I'm sure many other people too.
Thank you so much for your time today, Darcy. I really appreciate it.
No worries, man. It's my pleasure. Yeah.
For anyone else looking to hear more about the program, you can visit masterme.com.au or send me a direct email at Bede, Bede, at masterme.com.au. Thanks everyone for joining, and hopefully I'll see you soon.